Welcome to Brewsers, a podcast about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. I'm your host, Roddy John, and today we talk to Ashleigh Carter with a Bierstadt Lagerhaus in Denver, Colorado. We talk all about the history of the brewery, hosting wrestling shows, and so much more. This is an absolute amazing lager house that you can go to in Denver, Colorado. You can get all the barrel-aged stuff you want everywhere else, but this place is all lagers, and it's absolutely amazing. We'll get into it in just a second, but first, make sure to sign up for our newsletter. It comes out twice a week. You get even more information about our guests. You get fun facts, and you get to find out what's happening with your favorite podcast, all about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. So without further ado, here is Ashleigh Carter with the Bierstadt Lagerhaus in Denver, Colorado. How are you doing today, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Fantastic. Thank you, by the way. Forgot we have a little taco thing that we do. We're milling a big batch of corn lager.
Very nice. That sounds
fun.
So
it's a ton of work, but it's always like we would have done it earlier this week, but the guy that we do the collab with could only do it on Friday, so we rearranged everything so that he could be a part of it. And since it's so much work to mill it, we'll take all the help we can get. So
right, exactly.
Exactly. So thank you. I really appreciate you moving this up so that we can do a little taco corn milling collab party.
No, I mean, yeah, the tacos on a Friday is one of the best ways to start the weekend.
We think so as well. It's kind of like a religion at Bierstadt, honestly, is our taco parties. So we do them once a month. So
that sounds awesome. Is it so? I saw that you guys have wrestling tonight. Is it always wrestling night? Does it just happen to be what tonight was?
So wrestling, we do it I think it's the first Friday, and it's complete chaos. It's like total bananas. It's wow. I'm like, we'll be long gone before that starts. I might head back later to check it out, like I do, but it just gets, it is a busy evening when wrestling happens. I'm hoping we'll do it outside this time. Yeah.
Yeah. Wrestling fans are, intense. They can be anyway, I should say.
Yes, they are definitely. Last time it was like an ocean. It was crazy. I think we sold 16 kegs of Hellas. It's straight bonkers.
That's amazing. I mean, obviously it's great for you guys, so yeah.
Yes, exactly. At first I was like, I don't know, wrestling, and then I watched it. I was like, this is pure wild. This is amazing. This is totally chaotic. Obviously it's fake, but definitely looks painful still, just the same.
I believe predetermined is the phrase we enjoy using.
Okay, I like it. It's predetermined, but also painful.
Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Painful for sure. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah. We're wrestling tonight. It should be super fun. Like I said, I usually try to not be there because it is pretty chaotic. But sometimes my friends will want to go, and so we'll head down there and take in the sights. Yes.
As a wrestling fan, all my friends know that I'm a huge wrestling fan, and so some of them, if it comes up on their TikTok or Instagram or whatever, they'll be like, oh, have you seen this? And I'm usually well, yeah. But I always tell them, you have to go to a live show. It's the best combination of everything on the planet all in one place, and it's I always think it's great.
It's great. Again, the people who love it, they go wild, but it's just wildly entertaining completely. Even though I'm not hugely into wrestling, it's hard not to get into wrestling when you're there witnessing the action, live.
Right. And I think it's just made perfect for a brewery as well. And I don't know why more breweries don't lean into having wrestling on there on a regular basis.
Yeah, we used to charge for it. But now we just pay for it ourselves, and it's nice. Free, and it's just so much more enjoyable that way, because it's really difficult to dictate which seats can and can't see, and honestly, it's made it so much better that we just we used to charge people $10 and you get a beer with it, but now we sell 3 times as much beer because we just you just can't help but be a part of the action.
True. I didn't think of it that way. Of just like you said, paying for it yourself, and then just everyone can come when they want, and then they can just buy all the beer they want. That makes way more sense.
It does, absolutely. We were at first we didn't quite know, but after a little while we're like, this is the way to do this, and it's just like I said, it's pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah. Oh, again, especially live, it's so much better. How did you guys get hooked up with the company? You guys, the wrestling company.
It's just a company called Rocky Mountain Pro, and my business partner, his name's Chris Rippey. He is, well, sometimes I'm like, you are kind of a child, but in a good way. He's got like some very interesting ideas, stuff I would have never thought of. So I think that they kind of approached him, and he was like, oh, that sounds great. We should do this. So it's all credit to him for kind of getting that set up. We've been doing it for years now, and it's definitely by far one of our biggest nights. Yeah, I saw you guys do, everything, obviously, I think everybody does trivia, but you guys do trivia, you guys do, look like little farmers markets, stuff for vendors. Obviously, the tying to to the community is super important for you guys. Yeah, definitely, like I said, I have to give credit to like kind of our front of house, our bar manager, Chuck, and then again, my business partner, Chris, because they're really good at that. Like I'm pretty like singularly focused on making beer, kind of like, and taco days, of course. It's a good credit to them to come up with some interesting ideas, and we are lucky enough. During the pandemic, it didn't feel lucky enough, but we were lucky enough to have a lot of space, so that we can host a lot of different events that like you can keep them separate if you want to, or, you can kind of involve people and they can kind of walk around. I don't think it's completely gone, but I think in a way a little bit gone are the days of purely just, sitting down and like at a tasting room. Like sometimes people just want an activity, and something else to do while they're drinking. I'm perfectly happy to just sit there and consume liters of Hellas, but I guess I'm not the regular general public, so. Well, also, especially when you got people who bring kids and they got to make sure the kids are entertained. And, if you have a large group of people, then a lot of times it's kind of like herding cats on that front. So, having activity is not always a bad thing. And you get people that may not have come out to check you guys out for the first time, and then they do, and they're like, oh, I love this place. Absolutely, yeah. So nice for that. So as you're hearing, I'm talking to Ashleigh Carter with Bierstadt Lagerhaus out in Denver, Colorado. How are you doing today, man? I'm doing just fine. I had a little birthday celebration last night, and like I said, get ready for tacos. So it's a nice, beautiful day in Denver, as it turns out. It's usually, for March 1st, pretty excellent. Yeah, same down here in Texas. We had 2 cold-ish days where it got, in the 40s, but now we're going to be in the 70s today, and just going to keep getting more beautiful over here. Fantastic. Yeah. It could be anything this time of year, literally. It could be snowing. It could be raining. It could be literally absolutely anything. And today it just happens to be just about perfect, for sitting outside. I love it. So let's go all the way back in time. What is your earliest memory of alcohol? Oh man. Actually, it's kind of weird. I don't know if I have an earliest memory of like alcohol, but I think my earliest like beer memory is like I played soccer as a kid. Is like going to Old Chicago, which I don't know if you know what Old Chicago is. It's kind of like a beer bar. Yeah, it's kind of an ancient beer bar type thing, but like kind of a lot of them were located in the suburbs. Like after like a soccer game, with all the family and parents, they were like a pizza place too. And I kind of remember like, there being like my parents drinking like Fat Tire, like having, it's definitely like, I think I say this quite frequently, but I think my generation, I'm 38, I just turned 39. Wow. Anyways, I'm 39, but I think it's cool that like we kind of grew up with quote unquote craft beer around us. Yeah. Whereas, like my parents' generation did not, that was kind of a new thing. So it's kind of always been a thing, but I definitely remember like going to Old Chicago, my parents getting a picture of Fat Tire with the other, soccer parents and those kids eating, pizza or whatever it was. So I just think it's kind of a cool memory that I don't think my parents ever would have had. You know what I mean?
Right. So, sorry, was it your birthday you were celebrating last night?
Yeah, well, sort of.
Well,
I mean,
happy
mine was a couple
birthday.
days ago, but thank you. It was a couple days ago. I don't have
Okay.
lucky enough to have a 29th birthday, unfortunately, but it was a couple days ago. Had a couple of the clan out, the group out to have some burgers and go to one of our favorite beer bars / cocktail bars here in Denver. That actually is the one we're making the collab with for this corn lager, which we do every year. So yeah,
Well,
it's kind of full circle.
what's the name of the place?
It's called Finn's Manor. Pretty rad. It's kind of
Okay.
like outdoor, mostly outdoor. Like there's some covering and stuff like that, but it's a mostly outdoor bar with like some heaters and stuff like that. Kind of pallet racking for furniture, but one of the finest beer lists, if you ask me, in all of Colorado, and just an excellent cocktail bar as well. And they have this pretty cool, like, I don't know, call it a food truck. It's not really. It's just a guy outside who makes smash burgers. And they're really excellent smash burgers. So I bought like 15 burgers, a bunch of fries, invited a bunch of my friends out, and we drank some cocktails and ate some smash burgers and talked some shit. That's kind of my favorite thing. So yeah.
That's how everybody should be celebrating their
Yeah.
birthday, really.
Agreed, exactly. Low key.
Yeah.
So yes,
Well,
yeah, but Finn's Manor, we started doing this collab like 4 years ago. They had this idea, and at first I was like, I don't know, I don't really enjoy that much making beer with like bars and restaurants, because I think they have not a very good idea of what that actually means. Like we make a lot of beer at a time. But he came to me and we came up with a really cool idea. We actually use this heirloom Oaxacan corn that we grind. So it's a full day of like milling this corn because we don't put it through our mill. So we have this little like $200 Amazon corn mill. It takes like 10 minutes a bag, and we've got to mill like 30 bags today. Yeah, but then we do like a really cool cereal mash on it and a decoction, and it's 40% corn, and it's just a really cool beer. We started doing it instead of making Maibach. I don't really love Maibach, and when I got the chance to open my own brewery, I decided I wasn't going to make anything I didn't want to. So, no more Maibach, as it turns out. And there's only like 4 dudes who like it anyways, who beg for it every year. So.
So basically just make it on a pilot batch, give it to them, and then maybe they'll shut up.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't have a pilot batch either. We got nothing. You are the full batch or no batch, 30 barrels at a time. So, yeah, we go straight into it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. This bar that we do it with, and Tom is like a really great guy, over at Finn's Manor, and yeah, he kind of came up with this idea, and so we've been doing it for the last 4 or 5 years. So
that's really cool.
Pretty neat. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
So we know what your earliest beer memory is. What was your gateway craft beer?
Man, it's hard to really say. I've been asked this question a few times. I don't know that I have like a clear gateway beer, because I definitely I spent like high school years, and I didn't, I was a pretty good kid. Like I didn't really underage do anything wrong. Like I'm a rule follower, for the most part. And, I went to college in Asheville, North Carolina.
Right.
So, like a really cool, like craft beer scene. So like, I think, like I don't really have a beer, but I think like going to the Asheville Brew and View, was probably like the thing that got me into like thinking about, small tasting rooms and like going out to like small producers. And I don't really remember many of their beers per se, but we used to go there and watch movies and, drink their beer in pitchers and go to trivia nights and stuff like that. So I think that like, it's hard to say what my actual like gateway beer into craft beer was, but I think that brewery, was one of the ones that just, cause it was there, and that's what, us when we turned 21 would go and do. Because it's fairly, reasonably priced, but it was different than just drinking bathtubs full of Busch Light like we were doing. But it was definitely like an activity to do, like somewhere to go to enjoy beer that was made there, and we thought that was really cool. So I don't know if I'd have like a